Have you ever heard the saying, "Don't set yourself on fire to warm another"? It's a powerful reminder related to ancient Stoic wisdom about the importance of balancing kindness and self-care. However, in the modern rush to be perceived as kind, to always be the one who gives, many have distorted the noble act of kindness into a self-destructive habit. We are often persuaded to go further, to push our boundaries for the sake of others. But what is the cost? The truth is that too much kindness, when it drains your own resources, energy, and well-being, is not a virtue, but a path to destruction. Many have lost their way by giving so much of themselves that they feel empty, unappreciated, and depleted. This is a modern tragedy, where the best intentions lead to the worst results. Stoicism shows us another way, a way to be generous without losing ourselves, a way to be kind but also kind to ourselves. It teaches us the art of balanced generosity, ensuring that our actions enrich the lives of others while protecting our own well-being. In this video, we'll reveal how Stoic principles can help you set healthy boundaries so that your kindness becomes a source of strength rather than depletion. We'll explore how to give without losing, love without hurting, and be there for others without disappearing from your own life. Let's begin. 1. Don't set yourself on fire to warm others. Excessive kindness can become a trap, something Marcus Aurelius, the wise Stoic philosopher, would have warned against. Visualize yourself as someone who is always rushing to help others, never saying no. It is as if you are giving away pieces of yourself until there is nothing left of you. You become someone who is always there for others. But when you look around, you find yourself standing alone in your moment of need. It's not just about being kind, it's also about being kind to yourself. Mark would remind us that our first duty is to look out for our own well-being. Without this, we cannot be genuinely there for others. Consider the story of two neighboring gardeners, one of whom meticulously tended his own garden, while the other, despite having his own plot, often tended everyone else's gardens. The hard-working gardener, understanding the importance of self-care, nourished his garden with the right balance of attention and resources, resulting in a vibrant and blooming space. This gardener's land was not only a source of personal joy, but also provided a surplus of produce to share with neighbors. On the other hand, the gardener who gave disproportionately spent so much time and effort on the gardens of others that his own land was neglected. Without proper care, his garden withered and the harvest was meager. In their eagerness to be helpful, they overlooked their own needs, leaving their garden and, metaphorically, themselves depleted. Let this be a reminder to reflect before rushing to help others. Ask yourself, is this help sustainable? Am I preserving my well-being? The ancient Stoics would have encouraged us to practice Stoicism by setting healthy boundaries and making sure that in our desire to be kind, we remember to be kind to ourselves. After all, you cannot give from an empty vessel. In Stoicism, the goal is to maintain inner peace and wholeness while making a positive contribution to others, ensuring a balanced and satisfying life for both yourself and those you want to help. 2. Reciprocity has an expiration date. Generosity is a virtue that enriches our lives and the lives of those around us, but it contains the subtle trap of immoderateness. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that still resonates in our modern world with its wisdom, teaches us a critical lesson about the limits of kindness. Offering help with an open heart is noble, but expecting the same measure of generosity in return can lead us down a path of disappointment. Life has a way of showing us that the good done today may be forgotten tomorrow. This is not a reflection of our worth or the value of our actions, but rather the natural course of human memory and gratitude. Consider the act of giving as planting a tree. You tend it in the hope that it will grow and perhaps one day offer shade or fruit. But nature takes its course, storms, droughts, and changing seasons. Similarly, when we show kindness, we must let go of expectations of direct return. Stoics, especially Epictetus, advise us to focus on our actions, not the results. Some things are within our control and others are not. He said this by reminding us that the joy of giving should come from the act itself, not the expectation of reward. Adopting this mentality protects us from the sting of unfulfilled expectations and teaches us emotional resilience, allowing us to remain kind and generous without feeling depleted or exploited. This does not mean that we should harden our hearts, but rather that we should strike a balance, recognizing the impact of our kindness as a reflection of our character rather than a transaction. In this way, we not only protect our peace of mind, but also cultivate a form of generosity that is pure, self-sufficient, and genuinely satisfying. This Stoic principle encourages us to give freely but wisely, making sure that our kindness enriches us regardless of the world's reaction. In your daily interactions, how can you apply the Stoic principle of giving without expectation? Think of a specific scenario where you could offer kindness or support without seeking anything in return, and consider practical steps you could take to make sure your generosity remains a source of personal fulfillment rather than depletion. 3. Requests received have no limits. Reflecting on history, it's amazing to observe the excessive services demanded by royalty, from dressing to personal hygiene, all performed by servants. Fast forward to today, and it is clear that people still have expectations of us, often asking for services that they could very well perform themselves. Stoicism illuminates this by teaching us the values of setting boundaries and embracing moderation. This ancient philosophy serves as a beacon to guide us through a sea of endless requests, allowing us to act with intention and preserve our emotional well-being. Stoicism is not about denying help, but about finding balance, making sure we don't lose ourselves by supporting others. Take, for example, the touching story of a mother and her adult daughter in a picturesque village. The mother cared for her daughter out of love to the point of preventing her independence. This dynamic continued until the unexpected death of the mother, which surprisingly became the catalyst for the daughter's independence. This story underscores a critical lesson. While our intentions may be pure, oversupport can inadvertently stifle growth. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, encapsulated this wisdom in his reflections. A person's task is to stand upright, not to be supported by others. This insight encourages us to cultivate self-confidence, promoting a balance that benefits all participants. Seneca, with his deep knowledge of human connection, observed, "Someone who begins to be your friend for the sake of benefit will also cease to be hers for the same reason." This serves as a powerful reminder of the need to nurture relationships based on genuine connections rather than transactional interactions. True friendship and support should not depend on what we have to offer, but on mutual respect and understanding. Stoicism teaches us to value ourselves not for what we can give, but for who we are, cultivating self-respect and authentic connections. Stoicism empowers us to embrace moderation, setting boundaries to protect our well-being while offering genuine support to others. By prioritizing our responsibilities and honoring our need, we not only maintain our authenticity, but also participate in more meaningful acts of generosity. This balanced approach to life and relationships ensures that we remain true to ourselves and our values, leading a life of virtue and fulfillment as we navigate through the demands of modern life. Remembering that being attentive to our own needs is not selfishness, but a necessary act of self-care. 4. Being perceived and treated as fragile. Stoicism teaches us a powerful lesson in inner resilience and self-control. It's about building an inner fortress, perfecting the art of self-restraint, and drawing clear lines in the sand that define our personal space. Over time, Constantly bending over backwards for the sake of others can ironically lead to being perceived as weak. Without firm boundaries, we become vulnerable, easily exploited by those who see our generosity not as strength, but as an opportunity to be taken advantage of. This cycle of overexpansion and exploitation drains us, leaving us feeling unappreciated and overwhelmed. However, the moment we begin to say no with confidence, a change occurs. We are no longer the primary resource for every request or demand. This confidence conveys a new respect for ourselves, signaling to others that we value our time and energy, deserving their respect in return. Cicero, a scholar of Stoic philosophy, concluded this when he stated that what you think of yourself is far more important than what others think of you. By setting boundaries and practicing self-discipline, we not only protect our mental and emotional well-being, but we also demand respect from those around us. Remember, the power of saying no is transformational. It is a statement of self-respect and a testament to the respect you demand from the world. Embrace this mantra and watch it reshape the dynamics of your relationships, fostering mutual respect based on dignity and self-worth. Embodying this change, however, is not without challenges. Being always available often attracts those seeking help, leaving you out when it comes time to celebrate. This is a harsh reality where your openness can lead to exclusion from moments of joy, limiting you to the role of helper, absent during times of leisure. This realization, while bittersweet, serves as a test of discerning authentic connections from fake ones. It is a Stoic exercise in recognizing the true value of relationships, encouraging a conscious approach to who we offer our time and energy to. Did you know that practicing boundary setting, a central Stoic principle, not only improves our personal well-being, but also improves the quality of our relationships? It's a curious but true aspect of human psychology. When we respect ourselves enough to say no, we often gain the respect of others. This paradoxical effect emphasizes the transformative power of self-respect and the importance of discretion in our relationships. By embracing Stoic wisdom, we not only protect ourselves from exhaustion, but also cultivate relationships that are truly enriching and reciprocal. If you've learned something valuable so far, put a like to show your support. Now let's discuss strategies to avoid being taken advantage of by others and the dangers of excessive kindness. The first strategy is to get rid of the fear of saying no. Think deeply about why the word no often seems so hard, tracing its gravity back to early lessons that equated kindness with acceptance. These lessons, deeply rooted in our formative years, are paired with a fear of rejection, forming a belief system that links our worth to constant pleasing. It's about finding balance, making sure that our acts of kindness are not done at the expense of our own vitality. Remember that the strongest relationships are those where both parties grow, not those where one fades so that the other can blossom. Stoicism encourages us to find balance, forcing us to carefully evaluate our actions and their effects. It emphasizes the importance of maintaining balance in our generosity, encouraging us not to deplete our resources to the detriment of our primary goal of living a fulfilling life. On the other hand, he cautions against being overly cautious in our giving, suggesting instead that we use our generosity wisely. Seneca, a Stoic scholar, captures this ethical code perfectly. Kindness is a treasure. Goodness should be kept as buried treasure, to be unearthed only when needed. His words inspire us to be willing to act charitably toward others, recognizing the deep bond that connects all people. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you find these tips valuable. Consider sharing it with those who need to view it and express your opinions in the comments section, as wisdom must be shared in order to blossom.